I like to think that we're sitting around a campfire. A rather large group and a rather large fire, but nonetheless, we're here to share a campfire story. The moon is going to block the view of the sun to a small group of people on Earth, and we're among the lucky ones. What we are witnessing this afternoon is so filled with mystery and awe and chance and luck and maybe divine intervention, we just don't know. So we can ascribe it to the magic of nature. Over 4.5 billion years ago, a body the size of Mars glanced off the protoplanet Earth, knocking off a huge chunk of Earth's surface, and eventually it settled into a ball that revolved around the Earth, the planet Earth, and so the moon was born. And in fact, if it weren't for the moon, the Earth would be an entirely different place. The moon, with its gravitational forces, offers a dynamic to the Earth that is essential to life as we know it. And what an extraordinary event, with so many uncountable billions of miles of space, for the eclipse to happen, the eclipse happening right here, now. For example, are you aware that whole galaxies pass through other galaxies without ever hitting a star, and no evidence of that passage remains? Now, in the far reaches of the Milky Way, there's a little damage that is ascribed to another galaxy floating through the Milky Way and not touching a single thing except that little bump at the tail end of it to tell us that a galaxy came through here. And the next time that's supposed to happen is Andromeda. It's on its way. Yeah, and about 4.5 billion years from now, that drama will take place. And one thing for sure, those of us who are gathered here at Bloomington, Indiana, will not witness that event. Then the Earth went through one metamorphosis after another. As crust and mantle cooled, as tectonic plates began to shuffle around the globe, as water accrued, as oceans began, everything on Earth was in flux. Actually, everything on Earth is in flux. Change is the characteristic of this planet. It is a dynamic planet. Things are changing all the time. Crustal plates of thick rock floated on molten mantle deep beneath the surface. As the hot interior churned, continents were carried around the globe, sometimes colliding to make new, larger continents with high mountains, sometimes splitting apart to form new oceans. But the Earth was always changing, and eventually the life forms that were living in the Earth's waters laid down their billions upon billions of calcified bodies and gradually built a monumental limestone surface. What weird entities gazed up at the sky, looking at this event that we will be seeing. The Opabinia had 5 eyes. The Yonic was the ancestor to insects and spiders. The Anomalocaris was a T-Rex of the Cambrian. It ate everything in sight. And how about the Metastrignia? Or the Gambarosta? Some of the odd critters living in these ancient seas included Opabinia, which had 5 eyes and an elephant trunk-like appendage, while Hallucigenia looked like a prickly worm with legs. The Iona is a 500 million year old ancestor of today's insects and spiders, but it looked nothing like them. It had a head-mounted set of sensory appendages that doubled as claw-like tools for catching and cutting its prey. The Ammalocaris If we consider the T-Rex of the Cambrian, it was the largest predator to actively search out prey to munch on, and as predators go, it certainly looked fearsome. The Ammalocaris had a set of compound eyes, like a dragonfly, allowing it to see in much greater detail than any of the scuttling creatures it fed upon. Once it zeroed in, it used two trunk-like mouthparts equipped with hooks to trap and devour its prey. Other Cambrian creatures we seem a little more familiar, like the Metastrignia, an early fish-like vertebrate that had a hard liver and the first version of a backbone. That makes this little animal one of the first known vertebrates and one of our earliest known ancestors. Cambrorasca, distant relative of insects, crabs, and trilobites, would grow up to 30 centimeters in length, massive, considering other creatures at the time were smaller than your little finger. It had a large carapace or exoskeleton to protect itself from swimming predators, and impressive claws that could scour the seafloor. We think Cambrorasca may have used these claws to sift through the sediment, trap buried prey in a net-like array of hooked spines, and would then devour its prey with its circular mouth, which looks similar to a modern lamprey's mouth. These strange Cambrian creatures, which quickly evolved all sorts of odd solutions to surviving the ancient and deadly seas, eventually pushed their way onto land as insects, and later as amphibians and reptiles, colonizing the surface of the earth. They may look otherworldly to us, but the Cambrian animals set the stage for all animal life on Earth, including us. Even more oddly looking were the eukaryotes. Their single-celled ancestors joined with bacteria in a symbiotic union to produce this new form of life. Their mitochondria harnessed the metabolic power of the gas oxygen, which had begun to permeate the atmosphere. And with this power, they ushered in a whole new era for life on Earth, because these unassuming cells evolved into multicellular organisms, the metazoa. And how did the single cells move into complex life? Teamwork. All those billions upon billions of creatures added to the enthralled audience looking at the eclipse. The world began to look more like we know it. Vegetation covered the landscape. Animals ate plants. Animals ate animals. Asteroids hit the earth. Seas rose and fell. Continents shuffled around the globe. New groups appeared, old groups disappeared. 5 times, life on Earth trembled in the balance from mass extinctions. You know, of course, we're entering our 6th extinction, and us human beings have a great deal to do with it and for it. As we approach the present day, glacial ice covered Indiana and retreated several times over, and people arrived for the first time. First flint, then limestone were quickly recognized as a feature of this area. As mankind began to understand the quality of the limestone, Bloomington, Indiana, took form. Indiana University was founded in 1820 as a state seminary, with instructions beginning in 1824. In 1828, the name was changed to Indiana College, and in 1838, the college was awarded university status. In 1829, Andrew Wiley became the first IU president with the first graduating class. In 1830, the law school was founded in 1842. Women were first admitted to the university in 1867. Yes, notable alumni of Indiana University include journalist Ernie Pyle, physicist and Nobel laureate James Watson, and songwriter-musician Hoagy Carmichael. The university men's basketball team in Bloomington has won multiple National Collegiate Athletic Association championships. Go Hoosiers! All this was the evolution of the great state of Indiana, the wonderful, beautiful city of Bloomington, and the joyful happening of Indiana University. And now we sit here like all those primitive animals that swam sullenly in the shallow ocean and every so often peered up at the sky where something strange was happening. All the Native Americans whose view of the universe was the Milky Way flowing into the earth. We were the center of the universe when lunar or solar eclipses beat their pattern upon the surrounding area. So we can imagine all of the various life forms in the Midwest peering up at the sky. The Shawnee, the Algonquin, the Delaware, the Chillicothe clan, the Iroquois Confederacy, forming such intricate political bonds that American settlers used some of their rules in the American Constitution. Where is Chief Tecumseh, whose war with the English ended with the Battle of Tippecanoe? The Kansa, the Osage, the Wapakoneta, the Cherokee, and that great Oglala Sioux warrior Tecumseh, their leader, the name meaning shooting star or panther moving across the sky. American Indians frequently took names related to the sky and clouds. The Hurons, the Iroquois, the Chippewa, the Choctaw, and the Chickasaw. The Hurons, the Iroquois, the Chippewa, the Choctaw, and the Chickasaw. And so here we are today, filled with what we think is the logical, scientific explanation of what we're about to see. The moon is going to insert itself between us and the sun. Sparrows and cicadas will quiet, bewildered by the unexpected darkness, and hunker down for the night. Ghostly owls and curious bobcats will come out to hunt, equally miffed by the sudden night, and asking, what in heaven's name is happening? And then almost as quickly, they will scurry back to their place, back to their familiar rhythm, where night means night and day means sunlight. In this magic moment that we are sharing today, where because of places like Indiana University educating us what is happening, we are filled not with dread of something strange, but filled with awe at the manifestations of the heavenly bodies and the incidents, the coincidences, that what is about to happen, this compelling scientific happenstance, for which there is no other explanation but that science is magic, and magic